Hello, welcome to our channel PetWorldPeek. When you hear pit bull, what do you feel? For many, the name sparks fear, headlines, bans, and shelters full of unwanted dogs. But in millions of homes, pit bulls are beloved family members, loyal, goofy, gentle, and deeply affectionate. How can one dog inspire such opposite reactions, monster or friend? The truth is tangled in history and perception. This is more than a story about dogs. It's about us, our fears, and our capacity for compassion. Are pit bulls truly dangerous, or are they victims of a reputation they never chose? To find out, we must look back to where their story began. The pit bull's story began over a century ago, far from today's headlines. Once they were America's dog, symbols of loyalty and courage, featured on war posters and trusted as nanny dogs. Presidents, celebrities, and families adored them. So what changed? How did a national hero become a public enemy? The answer lies in shifting attitudes, sensational stories, and a dark subculture that rewrote their identity. This is a story about reputation, redemption, and the bond between humans and animals. Let's uncover how the pit bull went from hero to outcast. Our journey starts in 19th century England, amid the grit of the Industrial Revolution. For the working class, dogs were more than pets. They were partners, protectors, and a source of pride. These dogs needed strength, tenacity, and loyalty to survive harsh conditions. The pit bull's ancestors were bred for versatility, gentle with family, fierce when needed, always eager to please. In these communities, a dog's reputation was everything, a reflection of its owner's values. The bond between man and dog was forged in hardship, creating a legacy of loyalty and resilience. This is where the pit bull's story truly begins. To create the ideal dog, breeders combined two powerful types, the bulldog and the terrier. Bulldogs brought strength and courage, once used in brutal bull baiting. Terriers added agility, intelligence, and relentless spirit. The result? The bull and terrier, athletic, loyal, and eager to please. These dogs were more than fighters. They were companions, workers, and family members. Their unique blend of power and heart made them perfect for the working class. This was the birth of a new kind of canine. The bull and terrier's qualities were soon exploited in blood sports, first bull baiting, then illegal dogfighting. In 1835, animal baiting was outlawed, but underground dogfighting took its place. These dogs were bred for gameness, a refusal to quit, not aggression. Ironically, they were also bred to be gentle with people. Any dog showing human aggression was removed from breeding. This created a tragic paradox: fierce in the pit, but loving and loyal at home. Their reputation would be forever marked by this dark chapter, yet their true nature was far more complex. Despite their fighting past, most bull and terriers were cherished family pets and hard-working farm dogs. Immigrants brought them to America, where they became invaluable partners, hunting, guarding, and protecting. American breeders shaped them into larger, more muscular dogs, emphasizing loyalty and stability. Over time, they became distinct breeds: American Pit Bull Terrier, American Staffordshire Terrier, and Staffordshire Bull Terrier. The pit bull was born from grit and resilience, defined by trust in humans. In America, they found a new role, not as fighters, but as pioneers and friends. Their golden era was about to begin. As the bull and terrier crossed the Atlantic, it left behind the stigma of the English fighting pits. In America, it was reborn as the all-American dog, valued for loyalty, strength, and versatility. Families, farmers, and even presidents embraced these dogs, making them a symbol of American spirit and a beloved part of daily life. Once known as the nanny dog, pit bulls were trusted family companions, famous for their patience and gentleness with children. Their reputation grew from real-life experiences, not marketing. But no dog should supervise kids alone. The breed's fall from beloved protector to feared outcast is a dramatic, heartbreaking shift in public perception. As Sergeant Stubby, a stray from Connecticut, became America's most decorated war dog in World War I. Smuggled to France, he warned soldiers of attacks, found the wounded, and even captured a spy. Stubby's courage and loyalty made him a national hero, symbolizing the bravery and heart of the pit bull breed. The pit bull's popularity wasn't just confined to war memorials and family homes. It also conquered the world of entertainment. In the golden age of Hollywood, one of the most famous and beloved animal actors was a pit bull named Pal the Wonder Dog, who starred as Petey in the wildly popular Our Gang comedy series, later known as The Little Rascals. Petey, with his signature ring around one eye, was the loyal companion to a group of mischievous children. He was portrayed as a smart, funny and integral member of the gang, often getting them into and out of trouble with his clever antics. Petey was more than just a character, he was a cultural icon. For millions of American families who gathered to watch these films, Petey was their image of the ideal dog. He was gentle, protective of the children, and endlessly charming. The choice of a pit bull for this role was no accident. The producers needed a dog that was highly intelligent, trainable, and exceptionally stable around a boisterous cast of child actors. Pal the Wonder Dog, and his son, who later took over the role, perfectly fit the bill. Their on-screen persona reinforced the nanny dog reputation, showcasing the breed's loving nature to a national audience every week. Beyond the silver screen, the pit bull's image was everywhere. They were the mascots for popular brands and the stars of advertisements. Some famous companies, for example, used a pit bull as their mascot for decades, associating the breed with wholesome, all-American family values. This widespread visibility in popular culture helped to create a universally positive image of the breed. When people saw a pit bull, they didn't think of danger, they thought of Petey from Our Gang or the friendly face from their favorite commercial. The dog was a symbol of reliability and friendship. This era demonstrates a profound cultural acceptance that is almost unimaginable today. The pit bull was not a niche breed for a select few. It was America's sweetheart, celebrated in film, advertising, and family life. This period of widespread adoration is a critical piece of the historical record. It proves that there is nothing inherently bad or dangerous about these dogs. For decades, they were seen as the epitome of the family pet, a testament to their gentle temperament and loving hearts before fear and misunderstanding began to rewrite their story in the public mind. The trust and admiration for the pit bull extended deep into the world of American commerce. Long before modern marketing focus groups, companies understood that to sell a product, you needed a symbol of trust, strength, and reliability. For many businesses in the early 20th century, the perfect symbol was the pit bull. Their image was used to represent companies that wanted to project an aura of dependability and all-American quality. The breed's face on a product was a stamp of approval, a promise to the consumer that this was a brand they could count on, just like the family dog. However, in many advertisements and promotional materials, the company often used pit bull-type dogs to represent the brand, capitalizing on their popular image of loyalty and attentiveness. The message was clear: our product is as faithful and reliable as this beloved dog. This association helped to embed the pit bull's positive image even further into the daily lives of American consumers, linking them with innovation and quality. This trend went far beyond just one or two companies. The pit bull's image graced everything from record labels to farm equipment. They were seen as the embodiment of the American work ethic, strong, tenacious, and utterly dependable. A company that used a pit bull as its mascot was telling the world that their products were tough, durable, and would never let you down. This branding strategy worked because it tapped into the public's existing perception of the breed. It wasn't about creating a new image for the dog, but about leveraging the positive reputation it had already earned in society. This chapter of the pit bull's history as a corporate icon is incredibly telling. Businesses invest in symbols that people trust and admire, not ones they fear. The fact that so many companies proudly use the pit bull as their public face speaks volumes about the breed's standing during this era. They were not controversial, they were not divisive, they were a unifying symbol of the very best American qualities: strength, loyalty, and unwavering reliability. This was the golden age, a time when the pit bull was truly America's dog, celebrated from the White House to Main Street. The golden age for the pit bull faded as America changed. Urban decay, fear, and shifting values crept in, transforming the dog's image from beloved family protector to misunderstood outcast. Once a symbol of strength, the pit bull became a target of suspicion. The hero was recast as a villain, its reputation slowly eroded by fear and rumor. A new, darker story was about to begin. Driven underground by humane societies, dogfighting never vanished. It thrived in the shadows, resurfacing in the 1970s as a violent subculture. Ruthless criminals bred pit bulls for aggression and profit, twisting the breed's nature. The public saw only the terrifying product of this world, not the gentle family pets. The pit bull story was rewritten, hero replaced by fighter, setting the stage for disaster. In the late 1970s and 80s, the rise of sensationalist media collided with a handful of horrific dog attacks. The pit bull, with its powerful look and name, became the perfect villain. A single magazine cover showing a snarling pit bull defined the breed for a generation. Headlines ignored context, fueling fear and a relentless cycle of negative coverage. The pit bull was no longer just a dog, it was a public menace. The media storm painted pit bulls as dangerous, erasing their history as family companions and heroes. Myths and fear spread, repeated until they became truth. Owners faced judgment and isolation, their beloved pets now seen as monsters. The idea of punish the deed, not the breed, was lost, and a single story took hold. By the end of the 1980s, the pit bull's image had plummeted, from beloved family icon to feared outcast. Sensational headlines and public fear fueled a rapid, tragic fall from grace. Shelters overflowed as families surrendered their dogs, and once-loved companions became unadoptable. The real victims were the dogs themselves, betrayed, abandoned, and condemned by fear. But a new fight for their survival was about to begin. Media-fueled panic over dog attacks soon reached lawmakers, who responded with breed-specific legislation, laws targeting certain breeds, especially pit bulls, rather than irresponsible ownership or abuse. These laws, often based on fear and appearance, spread rapidly, turning beloved pets into illegal contraband overnight. For many families, the fight was no longer just against stigma, but against the law itself. Breed-specific legislation created a patchwork of fear for dog owners, where a family's right to keep their pet depended on their zip code. Cities like Denver and Miami-Dade banned pit bulls, forcing families to choose between their homes and their beloved dogs. Owners lived in fear, facing discrimination, housing loss, and heartbreak simply for loving the wrong breed. These laws didn't just target dogs, they tore families apart and turned pet ownership into an act of defiance. Breed-specific legislation isn't just about laws, it's about families torn apart, children losing best friends, and people losing lifelines. Behind every statistic is a broken heart, a grieving family, and a beloved dog taken away simply for how they look. This is the devastating human cost of BSL. Cost. Breed-specific legislation doesn't just break up families, it fills shelters with loving pit bulls, surrendered and confused, Most never get a second chance. Labeled and feared, they're often euthanized not for what they've done, but for how they look. These are the unseen victims, paying with their lives for a reputation they didn't create. For years, proponents of breed-specific legislation have argued that these laws are a necessary tool for public safety, a logical response to a documented threat. However, as decades of data have been collected from the very cities that enacted these bans, a clear and consistent picture has emerged. BSL does not work. Major national and international organizations, including the American Veterinary Medical Association, the American Bar Association, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, have all publicly stated their opposition to these laws. They have concluded, based on extensive research, that BSL is an ineffective approach to dog bite prevention and a drain on public resources. The data consistently shows that BSL fails to reduce dog bite rates or improve public safety. After implementing bans, cities like Denver saw no statistically significant decrease in dog bite-related hospitalizations. The reason is simple. BSL is based on the flawed premise that breed is the primary factor in dog aggression. In reality, factors like lack of socialization, poor training, owner irresponsibility, and the dog's individual history are far more predictive of aggression than breed. By focusing on a single type of dog, communities ignore the real root causes of dog bites, leaving their citizens just as vulnerable as before, while punishing responsible owners and killing innocent dogs. Furthermore, breed identification is notoriously unreliable. DNA studies have shown that even experienced shelter workers and veterinarians are wrong more than half the time when they visually identify a dog's breed. This means that BSL is not only ineffective, but it is also inherently inaccurate, targeting a wide range of dogs that are not even the intended breed. A truly effective public safety policy cannot be built on a foundation of guesswork. Responsible, breed-neutral legislation that targets reckless owners and dangerous dog behavior, regardless of breed, has been proven to be far more effective at protecting communities. The scientific and professional consensus is clear: breed-specific legislation is a failed experiment. It is a costly, ineffective, and unjust policy that punishes responsible citizens and their loving pets without making communities any safer. It is a relic of a fear-based panic, not a product of sound, evidence-based policymaking. The continued existence of these laws is a testament to the enduring power of stigma and the difficulty of overturning a law once it is on the books. The fight against BSL is not just a fight for the rights of dog owners, it is a fight for rational, effective public policy and a more compassionate, just society. Out of the darkness of prejudice, a new generation of heroes emerges. Pit bulls, once misunderstood, now serve as therapy, rescue, and detection dogs, proving their loyalty, intelligence, and gentle nature. These modern champions are rewriting the story of their breed, showing us that true character shines brightest in service to others. As the crisis in the shelters grew, a powerful counter-movement was born. A dedicated army of volunteers, advocates, and rescue workers rose up to stand in the gap for these forgotten dogs. These are the rescue warriors, ordinary people who decided they could not stand by while innocent animals were being vilified and destroyed. They formed non-profit rescue organizations specifically dedicated to saving pit bull-type dogs from high-kill shelters. Working with limited resources and fueled by sheer passion, they began pulling dogs from death row, providing them with medical care, training, and a safe place to decompress from the trauma of the shelter system. The work of these rescue groups is relentless and emotionally demanding. It involves countless hours spent networking with overcrowded shelters, arranging long-distance transportation, and raising funds for vet bills that can run into the thousands. The heart of their operation is the Foster Home Network, a system of volunteers who open their homes to a rescued dog, providing the love and stability needed to prepare it for adoption. In these foster homes, the true personality of the dog emerges. A terrified, shut-down animal trembling in the back of a shelter kennel, blossoms into a goofy, loving and playful companion, finally able to show the world who it truly is. These rescue warriors are not just saving dogs, they are fighting a war against misinformation. They have become frontline educators, working tirelessly to dispel the myths and stereotypes that have plagued the breed. At adoption events, on social media, and in their daily conversations, they share the truth about these dogs. They introduce the public to well-behaved, friendly pit bull ambassadors, allowing people to have positive first-hand experiences that directly contradict the scary headlines. They patiently answer questions, share facts about responsible ownership, and replace fear with knowledge, one conversation at a time. They are the voice for the voiceless. This grassroots movement has become a powerful force for change. From small local rescues to large national organizations, these groups have created a safety net that has saved hundreds of thousands of lives. They are the unsung heroes who see the individual dog behind the label, the loving heart behind the blocky head. Their refusal to accept the status quo, their unwavering belief in second chances, and their deep love for a misunderstood breed have ignited a revolution of compassion. They are the boots on the ground, the warriors who are slowly but surely turning the tide in the battle for the pit bull's reputation. The real victory isn't in courtrooms, but in living rooms, when families look past stereotypes and welcome a pit bull home. These adopters become quiet revolutionaries, showing the world the loving, goofy nature of their dogs. Each positive story ripples outward, changing hearts and minds, one dog at a time. The tide is beginning to turn. The tireless work of advocates, the heroism of the dogs themselves, and the power of personal stories are having a measurable impact. After decades of being on the defensive, the pit bull community is finally making progress. All across the country, citizens are pushing back against the failed policies of the past. They are showing up at city council meetings, armed not with anger, but with facts, data, and the stories of their beloved pets. They are demanding an end to the discriminatory and ineffective breed-specific legislation that has caused so much harm for so long. And it is working. Dozens of cities and towns that once had breed bans are now repealing them, choosing instead to implement more effective breed-neutral dangerous dog laws that focus on owner responsibility. They're acknowledging the scientific consensus that BSL is a failure and that public safety is best served by targeting reckless behavior, not by punishing an entire breed of dog. Each repeal is a major victory, a community choosing science over stigma and compassion over fear. It's a sign that the era of blind prejudice is slowly giving way to a more enlightened and just approach to our relationship with our canine companions. The cultural perception is also shifting. Thanks to social media, the image of the pit bull is being transformed. The snarling monster of the 1980s is being replaced by viral videos of smiling, flower crown-wearing pibbles and gentle giants cuddling with kittens. A new generation, less influenced by the old media panic, is seeing these dogs for what they are: loving, goofy, and deeply loyal companions. Celebrities proudly post pictures of their rescued pit bulls, and major brands, in a return to the past, are once again featuring them in advertisements, this time as symbols of resilience, rescue, and unconditional love. While the battle is far from over, there is undeniable reason for hope. The journey of the pit bull, from hero to outcast and back again, is a powerful lesson in the human capacity for both prejudice and redemption. The darkness of the past has not been erased, but it is being overcome by the light of truth, compassion, and the unwavering spirit of the dogs themselves. A new dawn is breaking for America's once beloved dog. The path forward is one of advocacy, education, and the belief that every dog deserves to be judged, as the famous saying goes, not by its appearance, but by the content of its character. The story of the pit bull is a mirror, reflecting our loyalty, our fears, and our prejudices. Once celebrated as heroes and beloved companions, they became outcasts through a single fearful narrative. The dog has not changed, only our story about them has. Through it all, their loyalty and love endure, offering us a lesson in resilience and grace. The story of the pit bull is not over. A new chapter is being written with compassion, education, and advocacy. The path forward means moving beyond fear, embracing breed-neutral laws, and supporting responsible ownership. Every act of kindness, every adopted dog, and every positive story helps rebuild their legacy. With continued compassion, pit bulls can once again be celebrated for the incredible dogs they truly are.